Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. I'm Sophia, your host. You may be reading the Quran thinking that you know what it means, but perhaps there's an interpretation that you haven't quite considered, an interpretation that's actually better. We're going to be looking at that in our series, Misunderstood Quranic Verses. And Dr. Shabir, welcome.
Pleasure to be on.
The verse we're looking at is from chapter 7. It's verse 80, and it's about Lot. It says, "We sent Lot, and he said to his people, 'How can you practice this outrage? No one in the world has outdone you in this.'" So this is Abdel Haleem's translation. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what the Arabic says and if it corresponds with Abdel Haleem's translation, in your opinion.
Yes, and just to make sure that everybody is quite sure about what we're talking about, we're talking about the Prophet Lot, right?
Yes.
Not a car lot or something like this. And his name is pronounced Lut in Arabic and Lot in Hebrew. And of course, the English renders it as Lot. Okay, so Abdel Haleem's translation has it. Let me read the Arabic first, and then I'll give a kind of a literal translation in my own mind, from my own mind. Well, the way it appears to me, and then we'll go to Abdel Haleem. وَلُوطًا إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. So literally, it can be rendered something like this. And Lut, when he said to his people, do you approach that abomination or that vile deed, which no one before you outdid you in? Like so that borrows closely from Abdel Haleem's translation, where Abdel Haleem has used this term, outdone. No one has outdone you in this. So what is at stake here? Now, most of the translations have it that no one has preceded you in this, that nobody. So the term sabakakum here, preceded you, can be translated two ways: either preceded you, and that meaning that nobody has done this before you, or no one has outdone you in this, like no one has gone ahead of you in doing this. So to me, it's the latter, and that's been perfectly captured by Abdel Haleem, in that we know now from scientific studies that homosexual behavior is practiced across cultures, and this seems to be like an anthropological constant, that a small segment of society, no matter how small, but it's always been there. And in fact, this is traced among other beings as well, primates and others. To render the verse to say that Lut's people were the first to practice. By the way, the verse itself does not name the behavior. It just speaks about it indirectly, that abominable deed.
Yes.
That vile deed. It will be understood from the next verse, which eventually we'll come to. But for this one, the act is not named. But if we assume the act to be homosexual behavior, then this could not be imagined today in our scientific world to have started only in the time of the Prophet Lot. So it would be a mistranslation to put it that, to make it appear that this was the first set of people to do this. It must be that they have gone to a certain extreme with this. They have outdone all people regarding this. And since from the Quranic perspective, a marriage is between a man and a woman, and sex outside of the marriage is prohibited, and therefore, a vile deed from the Quranic perspective. Therefore, the Quran is castigating the people of Lut, and through the words of Lut, saying to them, like, are you doing this outlandish thing to such an extent, like going beyond what other people have done before you. If we take this understanding, then we are able to strike a reasonable balance, Sophia, that people often miss. On the one hand, people might sanction a deed which the Quran does not allow for, and on the other hand, people may so excoriate the deed and so demonize the people practicing it, that would be another reprimandable extreme for its own reasons, right? Because to be fair and just and balanced, this is also an Islamic principle. And to be fair to all people, this is also an Islamic principle. Even if a person has committed an evil deed and they're brought to the Islamic court of justice, they have to be dealt with fairly. Just as in a modern court system, a person who's arrested, they have rights. They have to be dealt with fairly. So too, like when we think about other people and what they're doing, doing, whether wrong or right. We have to be fair and balanced to all people. It would be an inch towards fairness to say, okay, this verse should be translated to say not that the people of Lut were the first people to sort of invent this. They were practicing it to such an extent that this called for the attention of the prophet of their time to deal with this as an issue. And this is part of the reason why eventually the people were punished. But of course, there are other reasons which we will see as we come to other verses in the Quran that retell the story of the prophet Lut, and even the very next verse.
Next time we'll be looking at that verse.
Sure.
Thank you for foreshadowing that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.